Hello and welcome to eShip. In this video I'm going to go over some of the differences between the ticketed application and the new eShip application. Don't worry, all the options you're familiar with are still here, but might have different names or appear in different places in the interface. To demonstrate this, let's walk through creating a label for a typical order in both systems. In Ticketed, you start on the quick labeling screen and must first select or input an address. Let's start by adding a one-off receiver. Now, let's do the same thing in eShip. In eShip, we start on the Orders page. This page will display any saved or imported orders. If we want to create a new order from scratch, we click on Create Order. If you're doing a return-only ticket, just remember to click the arrow and choose Return Order. To create a one-off address, we make sure that lookup address is selected and then follow very similar steps to what we would do in Ticketed. Alright, but how about saved addresses? Ticketed lets you store addresses in an address book. We can find an address by searching for the receiver's name, company name, or town in this search bar. eShip offers the same functionality. First, make sure Lookup Contact is selected, and then Search. eShip lets you search on name, company name, or customer code, which is very similar to the Quick Name feature in Ticketed. In Ticketed, once you've selected your receiver, you can then add references such as the customer reference, which appears on the label and in reporting and invoices, cost center, which is the same as customer reference but does not print on the label, delivery instructions, and an item inventory, which lets you note the contents of the shipment for your own reference. In eShip, the two reference values can be added before adding an address, and I recommend getting into the habit of doing this. Customer reference is now called order number. Don't be fooled by the new name though, order number works exactly the same as customer reference. eShip automatically adds an ascending number to this field, and you can adjust what number it starts on in the settings. You can replace this with any reference you choose. The next field, Reference, replaces the cost center field from Ticketed. It's best used for internal references. In eShip, you can also make this field mandatory and give users a drop-down list to select from. Delivery instructions can be found here. eShip lets you store delivery instructions as part of the address so that you don't have to type it each time. While we're down here, I'll also point out this button, Save as Contact to Address Book. Tick this option when creating a one-off receiver, and it'll get saved to your address book so you can search for it next time. The item inventory can be assigned at the next step, so let's move on to that now. Click Next. In this section, you can note the items inside the shipment. For domestic deliveries, this is mainly just for your own reference. However, eShip can also do international shipments. It'll take whatever you input here and use it to populate customs declarations and invoices. Very handy. We have a separate video on our support pages that shows you how to create international shipments. Now, on to service selection. In Ticketed, we first select the service, then choose the box size. It'll give us an error if we try to use an invalid service. For example, economy can't be used for same island delivery. We then add the box to the shipment. We can update quantity if we're sending multiple copies of the same box, and we must input a weight. Further, we can adjust the box dimensions if needed. Add-ons like signature required can be ticked over here, and we have to remember to tick rural if we're sending to a rural address. Ticketed does not do this automatically. Finally, we can add additional packages by repeating this process. After you've chosen your boxes, click Proceed to Printing. At this last step, you can also add return labels. Click Print Labels to finish. In eShip, we can do these actions in any order. Your box list is displayed here. Box weights can be defaulted in order to save a few clicks, and it's possible to define a default box that will be selected automatically. Simply tick the boxes you're after, and adjust dimensions and weight as needed. You can add more boxes with this button. Down here on the left, you can select services. eShip will show price estimates against each service. Just remember that this is a total of all the boxes selected. eShip also hides invalid services, so the economy option in this case doesn't appear at all, making it easier to avoid mistakes. You can also define a default service for the North and South Islands, again saving you a few clicks each time. Lastly, you can choose add-on services here. This is also where you can add a return label. The rural add-on service will appear automatically when a rural address is chosen, and will be ticked when it does, so you won't need to remember to do it. There are also a few other new add-on services that will appear here if they're available on your account, such as dangerous goods and the no ATL service. Once we're ready, we can print labels as in Ticketit. Alternatively, we can save the order and carry on with it later, download the label to a PDF file, or email the PDF file to the email address of your choice. PDF labels are great for returns, as you don't have to send the physical return label to your customer first. With eShip, printing on plain paper is now okay, so your customer doesn't need a label printer at their end. Just make sure they use plenty of clear tape to protect the label in transit. And that's it for this comparison. Be sure to check out the settings page in eShip to set up your boxes and default services, and check out our eShip support pages for more tutorials, and learn about more great features.